Hello, Missouri Mama here. My name is Nina, and today we are working on another one of these Trinket dishes. I'm going to take the same multi-chrome powder that I have been using, and I'm going to dust this little bow. As you can see, the lid over to the side has already been done. I just used some extra resin I had to pour in there. I don't know why it's creating that weird glow around it. It must be the glitter that's in it. So I'm just going to dust this bow mold real good with this multi-chrome powder. And apparently I'm going to go off camera with it. I'm trying to make sure I get in all the little bitty places to make sure I have good coverage. Get in there real good. And this powder is gorgeous, especially whenever I put the black behind it. It just comes out stunning. I don't know why I left that little cup there. It's from a previous pour, and it's just sitting there. I don't know why. I was working on a lot of these at the same time. So I think I'm almost done dusting that with this multi-chrome that I got from, so the powder I got from Temu, and the molds came from Amazon. There we go. And put that up so I don't spill it. Oh, that's why I was going to reuse that cup. Just add a little bit of black pigment in there. And mix that up real good. I do try to reuse my containers and sticks as much as possible. And I'm just pouring it in, and I did not realize that my hand was blocking the whole thing. Looks like I did pretty good on guessing how much I needed on the resin. Maybe not. I just topped it off with some clear. Move that off to the side. Now I think I'm going to do the little skull dude, maybe. Adding in my white iridescent glitter. It's a chunky and fine mix. Came from Amazon as well. I think this is where I'm going to pour the big part. I think I decided I wanted the rest of that in there. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Alright, so I'm going to do the little skull. And this little skull mold is really cool. It came with a resin kit. And it's so cool. I have seen it on Temu. I'm going to top off this lid. So it wasn't quite all the way up to create the lip that it needs. And then here I did mess up. I did mean to dye this, to add some dye to this one, and I didn't. So I do end up just pouring it in with the white glitter. Instead of adding the alcohol ink into it. It turns out good though. It's just not my original plan. Sometimes that happens. And I sped this up a little bit for you because it's just me scraping it out. And then I did pour in some more resin, but I lost the footage. It was the same white glitter with some alcohol ink that I got in a resin kit mixed in. You'll see me mix it up for another part of this video. Here I'm just taking that same multi-chrome and I am trying to dust just the little hearts that are on this mold. So I'm going through trying to just dust those without making a huge mess. And if anybody tries to do this, it is easier to do it without the resin in it. You just have to clean, it's easier to clean up. And I should have done it without the resin in it. I don't know why I thought it would be easier with the resin already in it. I think I was worried about having to clean up deep inside the mold. And I put on fast forward so you guys didn't have to watch me do each one. It takes a while. I just go through and give each little heart a little dusting, trying to go around the edging really good. You can see here, you can see that there's little hearts around the base of this. Now with that silicone tool, I think I was pushing down some resin that had gotten on the heart a little bit. It's not, it's almost cured, but it's still a little soft, a little squishy. And now I'm back to do the final pour part, and this is where you'll see me mix up the color that I was talking about. So I'm just mixing in some more of that iridescent white glitter mix. I'm just gonna mix that into my resin. And the ink I'm using is this Alita Gemstone Sapphire. It's really pretty. It does take quite a bit to add a good blue color to this white glitter. And it takes a little bit of mixing because it's an alcohol ink, so it wants to float at the top. So it does take quite a bit of stirring to mix it in real good. But the effect it has with this white iridescent glitter is really pretty. I love the effect it creates. So now that I have that all mixed in, I'm just going to pour it in to finish this off. You see how it makes that iridescent glitter just kind of shine and sparkle so pretty? It's stunning. And now I'm just kind of tapping, make sure to get any air pockets out, especially with the multi-layer pouring. So that's all filled up. Just trying to make sure there's no air pockets. Take my lighter around and pop any air bubbles. And again, my lighter is dying here. And now we are back to start demolding. So I'm going to demold the lid real quick. You do have to be careful with these molds. They do create some sharp edges. I did cut myself a couple of times just demolding on some of these. Not this one, but one like it. I sliced myself pretty good. This one turned out really pretty. And then here's that container. I'm just going around the edge, trying to be careful because, like I said, I sliced myself on one of the earlier ones that I did. So you can see those hearts that I dusted, kind of as I move it around a lot. So here I am going through and dusting the hearts again on this container, because I'm going to try and make this double layered. It was interesting to say the least. So I'm using the same multi-chrome powder and just dusting the hearts again. You can't really see what I'm doing because I'm out of frame. There we go. Now I'm in frame a little, oh, for a second. And there we go. About to pour again. Look at my white iridescent glitter mix again. I'm just gonna pour some more in. Mix it in. There's the same ink I've been using. Gemstone Sapphire by Alita. It came in a resin kit, like I said before. Put a bunch in there. So just trying to get that mixed in real good. I have this cup filled up pretty full, so it's making it a little bit harder to mix. So I don't know why I skipped over the pouring part. There I'm just scraping off the top of that because I don't want resin there if possible. And then I have a split pour painting silicone cup inside of the other piece to help keep it up from sinking down too far into this mold whenever I set it on top to try to cure them. I want to cure it into this resin, but I don't want it too far into the resin. I just want it slightly into the resin. And there I am setting it on top, trying to make sure it's on there evenly. I'm all worried that it's going to sink, and here we are, ready to demold it. I'm all nervous that it came out all weird. It didn't come out perfect, but it did work. So you can see the pieces have fused together. And you can see that split pour cup on the inside there. Which I almost forgot about, which is funny. So there I am going, looking at where the two pieces joined together, and it's not perfect, but it worked. And I did add rhinestones to it later to help cover up any imperfections, blend them together. And there I am remembering I had to take that out. There's a thin layer of resin there, but it's real easy to rip up, and then just do some sanding on the inside, and it's real easy to smooth it out. Here I am ripping out some of the thin layer of resin. You can see some of the resin down in there that'll have to be sanded down a little bit. I try to take my deburring tool. That doesn't really work in that area. It's too hard to maneuver around in there. So there I was kind of looking at the imperfections a little bit. It looks cool. Some rhinestone glue. I'm going to show you they just came with some rhinestones I got from Amazon, and I'm going to show you how I put the rhinestones on that I put on all the different containers I've done. I just put a little dot, and then I did the swirlies to get rid of the stringies. And there, I was trying to show you the lid. It got a little cut off. So I'm gonna put some rhinestones that I had. And just me sticking them into the glue.
Story-wise, and I know Amanda from Makeup
And
Just for
then
Fun
letting
does
it
more
dry.
of like a neutral
And they
makeup
stay on after that.
aesthetic compared to like what I like. Like she doesn't, I don't, shouldn't even say neutrals because she
And
does
then
wear
I think
color,
here I was going to
obviously,
show
pink and
you
purple,
some
but
of
she
the
doesn't wear
rhinestones I
like
put on
super
the
bright like a
bottom.
base color, and I
Well,
tend
like
to be
not the
more of like
bottom,
a
but where the
wearable
hearts
color.
are.
So I think that's the difference. Yeah.
The heart's in the middle
Next up is the Adept Cosmetics Lost
to help
Indigo
hide that
palette. I did
line.
get this in their mystery box, but I think you can buy this palette individually. I'm not sure. This palette is okay. It's the shimmers are nice. They're the standard Adept formula. I just feel like there was a lot of like duplication in the neutral
I do
mattes, and
put
we could
quite
have had
a bit
a
of glue
little bit
there to
more
make sure they
variety
hold on.
in the matte selection to like work with these. And I
And
also
then I
didn't
use
love
some
Hermosa Peach
bigger and
as
smaller
like compared to
rhinestones.
the other shimmers I've tried from Adept. That one was my favorite. So overall, not my favorite palette from Adept. Next up, we have the Melt Cosmetics Dark Matter palette. I do like this palette. I don't like the circle pans, believe it or not. Oh gosh, and then here. I have to keep this plastic in here because they don't. God, if I hit this microphone one more time, I have to keep the plastic in here because there's no shade names otherwise. Yeah, it's just like a basic like neutral color story. I don't like the cream black in here. It creases really badly, so I feel like there's like one shade that's a dud. I do like all the other shades. I think they're really pretty. And if you want like a dark smoky look, I think it's really nice, but it's just not. It's not my all-time favorite color ever. And the circle pans really bother me for some reason. Don't ask me why, but they do. Next up is the Flora palette from Ace Beauté. I think the shimmer formula in this palette is really great. I think the matte formula in this palette is really great.
There you
It's
can
just
see some
not
of
a
the
luxury that I
imperfection a
seem
little
to
bit
find myself
more.
reaching for
I'm
very
just trying to
often,
cover
but I
that
do
up
really,
with some
especially
of the
with these two
rhinestones.
pens. They are pretty, super pretty. Yeah, I don't know. I just
And
am
I
not
guess
reaching for
adding
it, so
more
I feel like I need
rhinestones
to put it here.
on.
Next up is the Ace Beauté
I just recorded
Colonia
part of the
palette. Same
rhinestoning
thing.
process so you guys can see how I
Very
did
pretty
that.
formulas, both shimmers and mattes. I think it's beautiful. I just don't find myself wanting to reach for this all that often, so it was here. Last up in this category is the Bella Beauté Bar Star-Crossed Lovers palette. I actually do really like this palette, so maybe I should put it into the next category. But it's more of like a neutrally color story, so I don't find myself reaching for it all that often. But the shimmers in here are really pretty. And I think because now that I've experienced Bella Beauté Bar's like better matte formula, it's hard to reach for their older matte formula, but I do, honestly though, I don't think I had issues with this matte formula. So I don't know. I'm just saying things to say that. I feel like this palette probably should have been in the next category, but I do like it. It's just more of like a, almost like a monochromatic color story. I would argue. So I'm not. That's not my as much my vibe anymore. Next up is the category of palettes that I really like, and I'm going to drop them. I think. Okay. Next up we have the category of palettes that I really like. I do. I really like them. They're just not quite favorites. That doesn't mean that they couldn't become favorites, but I have other palettes that I like more. So here we go. Next up is the Viseart Petit Fours Sakura Lotus palette. This is what this palette looks like. I think this palette is adorable. I think it's really cute. I love the performance of these. Compared to the Florette palette, this one blows it out of the water. My only issue with this palette is that I have this like type of purple shimmer from Viseart a couple of times. I feel like it's not different enough to make it worth it to also have this one in my collection. So that's why I have this one here, but it is really pretty. Honestly, I probably should have switched this one and the Bella Beauté Bar one, like categories and placement, but here we go. Okay, the Viseart Petit Four Rosea Lotus palette. I have this one next, mainly because it's a quad, but I actually really like the color story of this. If you like neutral tones, especially especially like blushy
So now I'm
neutrals.
just doing some of
I think
the
they get a
upper
lot of use
part
out of
of
this.
the
It's a
piece
really,
with the
really nice pot.
rhinestones.
I just keep buying pots, but I don't reach for pots, so I don't really know. It's a me issue. But I did really like this one. I think it's really pretty. Next up is the LEJ Resolution palette. This is what the palette looks like. It is a neutral color story with some sparkly like glitter shades and duochrome shades.
I like
This
the fine little
duochrome shade
needlepoint
Healing
on this
Touch
rhinestone
sticking
glue.
out on me, which was
And
not
it
my
holds
favorite.
just like E6000, so it works really good. But it doesn't leak out as fast as the E6000 does. Because I can set it down and it doesn't leak out. The E6000, it just like keeps coming out of the container. And this has a fine point on it. It's really nice. Now here I am going to put some of the velvet type lining on the bottom of this. It's like what they use in jewelry boxes. So here I'm just cutting out like a square. And this is to keep it from scratching up surfaces that it would be set on. You can see I did some sanding on the bottom of it, and I'm cleaning with alcohol, make sure it's clean. So this fabric adheres to it really good, or this material, I don't know what it's classified as. And I just stick it on there and I rub it really good to make sure it adheres nicely onto it. And there's some swatches on my hand. I was playing with some makeup. And the swatches are what wouldn't come off with just a wipe, a makeup wipe. So that's what was left over. And now I'm just going along trying to trim it off what I can with the scissors. Can't really see what I'm doing because I'm out of frame. And I try to trim it up with the scissors, but it's too detailed on the bottom to really get in there close. So I do end up using a blade. If anybody does this, be very, very careful doing this. I was very careful. I did not cut myself at all. But you do have to go very slow and be very careful so you don't catch your finger at all. This material does cut really easy, so it's not hard to do. You just have to make sure you keep your fingers out of the way. There, that's me just removing adhesive. Well, the extra material. And a string of glue. I noticed a string of glue and had to remove it. And now we are outside, so you can see this in the sunlight, and it just sparkles and twinkles in the sunlight. It is so pretty how it just sparkles. I love it. I just love how it looks. I think it turned out really pretty. The rhinestones are just gorgeous. The glitter turned out amazing. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Let me know what you think. How do you think it turned out? And if you like videos like this, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me.